Special episode today, meet prep week. Let's get into it. I'm Carl Ragavan, Europe's original starting strength coach. This is Beautiful Strength. Welcome to the show. For those of you who have been following, I've been prepping for a strength lifting meet. So that's 3 attempts at the squat, 3 attempts at the press, and 3 attempts at the conventional deadlift. So with that being said, the past, 6 to 8 weeks, I've been doing heavy singles on my heavy day, which obviously is kind of fun for you guys to watch and keep up. But also it's a good reference to kind of give you an idea of like someone at my strength level, how I would prep for a strength lifting meet or any meet for that matter. So for most of you who are still making progress doing heavy fives, I would say just keep doing heavy fives and maybe do 3 to 4 weeks of heavy singles on your heavy day. You could even be really Scrooge and only do like 1 or 2 weeks of heavy singles. But I do feel like at least 3 or 4 weeks just gives you a bit more confidence, because definitely if all you've done is heavy fives, having heavy singles on your back is a big difference. On press especially, you might even want to do heavy singles like 6 to 8 weeks out if you can, because the press really is the one. Deadlifts, you really don't want to, unless you're experienced, you don't want to do too many weeks of heavy deadlifts, because you can get too gassed and max out and basically overshoot for the meet. So if I had to put them in ascending order, if you really want to be strategic, I would start doing heavy press singles 6 to 8 weeks out, maybe heavy back squats 5 weeks out, and then heavy deadlifts 3 weeks out. So that way you keep running your fives and you still get some exposure. Or like I said, another easy way to kind of simplify programming is to switch from heavy fives on your Friday. I assume you're doing heavy light medium at this point. I wouldn't really suggest a novice who's still doing 3 sets of 5 adding weight to the bar every session. You should just keep training. It's almost like you should train through the meet. If you are going to do a meet, you just kind of skip a couple of days. But yeah, even for me at my strength levels, my meet prep is very, very simple. I've been doing heavy singles for 6 to 8 weeks on the squat, press, and deadlift, because those are the lifts that I'm actually going to do for the meet. Duh. So yeah, I just wanted to show you how simple a meet prep is. It's nothing too special about it. I'm just skimming off a load of volume and intensity, so it'll allow me to recover. I've definitely had a good meet prep, pushing myself really hard, so hopefully I'll hit some big numbers. Working out of an American gym, shall I say. So all the weights are in pounds, but a competition is done in kilos. So for the purposes of making it easy, and again, I think some people can get a bit too anal with the numbers. Technically, these numbers aren't exactly what I should have done to the kilo. But again, even at my level, it doesn't really make that much difference if you're undershooting or overshooting by half a kilo or a kilo. So here it is, Monday taper week. So I did 2 sets of 2 with 500 on the squat. So that's like 226 kilos. How I reference these numbers is basically 90% of what my openers are. That's going to be my volume day. And again, my volume day is usually a shit ton more reps and sets. So 2 sets of 2 is a breeze. So really crush depth, really getting my confidence on that. On the press, again, 90% of my openers. So I did 275, which is like 125 kilos. So I did 2 sets of 2 on that with no elbow sleeves. So those of you might notice that I use elbow sleeves when I train. Again, it's just a personal preference. It doesn't really add that much to my lifts. It's just a little bit of comfort and support. When you're heavy, when your presses get really heavy, your elbows can get kind of jacked up. So it's one of those tricks of the trade I've learned many years ago that, when I'm doing a big run for a heavy press, I like to wear elbow sleeves. But when it comes to meet day, I don't really have much strength discrepancy because they don't help me that much. They just provide a little bit of comfort, a little bit of support. And then finally, the deadlift was 500 pounds, same as the squat. And I just did 2 heavy singles. Made sure I gripped it nice, mixed grip, which is what I'm gonna max out with. And yeah, that was meet prep taper week, volume day. So if you liked today's show, comment, like, share, subscribe. You know the business. I'm Carl Ragavan. That was Beautiful Strength. And remember, the barbell never lies.